what I do like about the city is like there are little things that every once in a while is like I'm like, oh, never mind. You know, like the Folsom Street Fair. I can be getting down in the city like, oh, what the fuck is this place, man? This is bullshit. And then I go to and Folsom Street Fair happens. I'm like, oh, there's two guys jerking each other off while wearing little sailor outfits while somebody else is pooping on them. Like, yeah, this is great. Go to San Francisco. You guys just do that.
That was Broadcast Stuart. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco. Welcome to episode 15. Stuart Schuffman, also known as Broadcast Stuart, does a lot of things. He had a national TV show, he's published books, he's run for mayor of San Francisco, and for about 10 years now, he's run Broadcast Stuart's goddamn website, a destination for arts and culture here in the city. In this podcast, Stuart will share the story of moving here. We recorded this episode at the Willows in January 2018. Here's Stuart.
So yeah, I was 21. I moved up here. And this is more like just setting the tone, I guess, of what the city felt like more than anything. 2002. No, but yeah. So 2002, I moved to the city, and then I was here for the summertime, and then I went back to Santa Cruz to finish my senior year of college. Mm-hmm. But I met a girl when I was up here, as you do, and so I spent my entire senior year every other weekend in San Francisco. We'd alternate weekends. She'd go down to Santa Cruz one, I'd come up here. So pretty much from summer 2002, I was here nearly all the time.
Right.
But yeah, me and my buddy just moved up here, and we shared we both slept on an air mattress on what was probably a living room with no door. Mm-hmm. You know, we were 21 years old. Mm-hmm. I was in town for a few weeks, and I was like excited. I was 21, and we decided to meet girls, and girls who had internet because it was
DSL.
Yeah, it was 2002. I remember it was 2002, and I don't think internet wasn't nearly as important then. And so like where me and Monty, my buddy, were staying, I don't think we had internet in the house. Mm-hmm. We might have. I really don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't think we did. So I remember like thinking like, oh, it'd be really nice to meet a cute girl and have a great summer fling and get to use her internet sometimes.
Oh shit.
So yeah, so we're living, and like I met all these people who I'm still friends with today. That first summer because I was living on Haight Street, and so much happened. I found my neighbor dead in the hallway that summer.
Okay.
He's an older guy who like had a heart attack and fell.
What part of Haight?
Haight and Central.
Okay.
Right upper Haight. And then I met my first serious girlfriend on the 71 bus. But I remember having met Tia and. I gave her my number, and I was like, "Hey, you're in town." Because she was just visiting. You're in town for a few days. Hit me up because she was visiting, but she was about to go here for school, for college. So that night, I remember being in where was I? The night before that, I had been in the Gold Cane, and I'd met a girl there and totally hit it off and got her phone number. And I remember she was one thing. I was like, maybe she'll let me use her internet. She also lives on Haight Street. This is great. She's a cute blonde girl. And I remember. I had called her because this is before you texted people because texting didn't really exist. And I remember they called her like, "Hi, hello," awkward, whatever. And I had got on the phone with her, and she was like, "Oh, hello, I got another call." And I got another call, and it happened to be Tia, who I'd met on the bus.
Yes.
And I literally had a split decision. I was like, which one do I go with right now? So I was like, oh, Tia's only visiting for a few days. I'll go with her. So I said to the other girls, hey, let me call you back. So I get this came up. Never called her again. That was that. Yeah. But and then I was with Tia from that point on. That night even. For like 3.5 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah, right? That summer was crazy. Monty, who I was sharing the room with, he had a shit summer. He not only almost lost an eye because like something hit him in the face, he also broke his wrist, and so he had to go home. So then I had this room to myself for the other one part of the summer. And it was like I was too honest, so I had very little money because I couldn't get a job because I was working at the internship 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get another job, and it was just this amazing experience of being wide open to this brand new city. And it was at a time when the bubble had just burst.
Yep.
And things were wide open, and
jobs were impossible to get, but apartments were like all over the place. Yeah.
And
it had been the reverse before that.
Right. And, back then I lived up very little. Not that I live up that much more now, but I had enough to, got a slice of pizza at a Fat Slice, and and I'd be able to afford, a little bit of booze and every once in a while a beer at a Murrio's because the beers were like $1.50 then or something like that. It was the only place I could afford to drink.
Yep.
And I just spent the whole summer just, exploring the city by bus and by foot and out of a lot of downtime. And so me and Monty would just get on a bus and ride it till it ended.
Whoa.
And then get on. Then
I've still never done that.
Get on.
I've always wanted to.
Get back on the bus and ride it back.
Yeah.
And we'd go on all kinds of adventures like that. We would just meet cool people who were also here. Because back then in San Francisco, people would come to San Francisco because they wanted to be in San Francisco.
Right.
It wasn't because it was just some fucking job. It was like they wanted this weird, freaky place to be in. So they came. And they came in clumps. You met one person from D.C. You met 6 people from D.C. Because one person moved out here and their friends came out here, So you met people from little clumps from all over the U.S. And then, as the years went on, more and more left and fewer came. But it was just this beautiful time when anything was possible because I was young and naive enough to say yes to everything.
Yep.
I still say yes a little too much, to be honest. But also you just you be on Hate Street and you'd be like talking to somebody like, you want to go smoke a joint? Sure, let's go smoke a joint. And then all of a sudden you had this fucking adventure all day, But Hate Street was like my center for a while because even, after I left the Hate and went back to Santa Cruz, my girlfriend was living at USF. She was going to school there. So when I'd come up here, I'd get on the fucking bus in Santa Cruz, go over the hill, get to the Caltrain station, take Caltrain up to King Street. Then I would get on the N. Is that what I would get on? I think I would get on I'd get on the N and then go all the way to Cole and Carl.
To the 43?
No, then I'd walk. I'd walk down to the Panhandle and then up to USF.
Yeah.
Like
that's dedication.
Every other week, yeah. Well, when you're 21, you're freshly in love and you feel things, you do stupid shit. I remember going to Zeitgeist for the first time.
Okay.
And that was the first time I also saw anybody shooting heroin or shooting anything in their arm because we were walking down, the mural behind Safeway of the Wiggle.
Yeah.
So I was walking back from Zeitgeist that first time and seeing somebody shoot up back there.
Wow.
But Zeitgeist was so much more biker-ish than...
It was hella biker.
It was a biker bar,
Totally.
And so we'd go... And both kinds of bikes, motorcycles and bicycles.
Yep.
It'd be bike messengers. Dude, do you remember when the Mission, when it was like back then hipsters looked like bike messengers?
Right.
Now they look like Apple employees or something like that. But they'd have them and their dog would have matching bandanas around their necks, and like marks on their leg from the grease from their bicycle.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one thing that about the hipsters that hipsters, whatever, is that even a thing anymore? But
I miss hipsters.
I miss them. I miss
hipsters. I miss bitching about hipsters.
Here's my thing about hipsters. I'd rather people be really passionate about really good music than be like, oh yeah, I really like Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, man.
Right.
Do you really?
Right.
Do you really?
No.
I'd rather you wax on about some strange band from Ottawa that
Yeah.
nobody's heard of than yo, the new T Swift is great, bro.
Or make music.
Yeah.
People used to come here and make music. Do people still do that?
I don't know. They go to Oakland. If I was 22, if I was 21 now, I'd move to Oakland.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to move here.
Exactly. Well, I can't move to Oakland either.
Not anymore.
It's too expensive.
God damn it.
Anyway.
So when I was 21, I was living in Santa Cruz. I was going to UC Santa Cruz, and I had I got an internship up here in San Francisco at Bill Graham Presents. At the time when it existed, it was a company through concerts at the Fillmore, the Warfield, all over. And so I got this internship, and this is a funny part of the story. This is ridiculous. So the night before, I was I don't know if it was moving up here. No, what it was, I was coming to look at apartments. Me and my buddy Monty, who I was going to live with. This is totally tangential, but we drank a bunch the night before. We got in his car and we're driving up, and we stop we stop at In-N-Out.
Mm-hmm.
And get some food, and I'm sitting there and I'm eating my burger, and I shart. I totally sharted in In-N-Out in Daly City
while eating.
Yeah, I was just I thought I was farting and I sharted. And and so you remember I'm 21, so being a teenager wasn't that long before that, so I still had my name written in my underwear from summer camp, So I go in the bathroom and I plan on getting rid of, taking off my underwear and throwing it in the trash can. Mm-hmm. But it's just the trash can's already overflowing with stuff and there's no room. So what do I fucking do with this underwear? It's disgusting. So I kind of ball it up and toss it behind the toilet, right? But it had my fucking name in it. So to this day, I'm still worried I'm gonna meet somebody wait, oh yeah, I'm Stuart Shuffman. Wait, Stuart Shuffman? I found your shitty underwear at In-N-Out when I had to clean that up. You know?
Oh my God.
But anyway, so
Which In-N-Out was this?
Daly City.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I know the one. I'm like, yeah, I know. I found those.
Yeah, that was me.
That's why you're here today.
You're disgusting human being, Stuart.
I brought you here today to talk about your sharding.
I have an unfortunate amount of sharding stories, to be honest.
Are they San Francisco sharding stories?
Yeah. Here's
okay,
one.
Then it's on theme.
This is all right. Good, because that's kind of a sharding story too. This one is actually more recent than I'd like to admit. Wow, this is where this is going, huh? So a little while ago, I was it was a friend's birthday, and we were partying pretty hard. There was booze. It was like brunch and mezcal in the morning, and then like dancing in the park, then party bus, and yada yada yada. And on the party bus, we'd already been partying for a number of hours at this point, and I'm making out with these two girls, and they're a couple, and we're gonna probably have a threesome later. And I'm like, this is great, and it's going really well. And then just when we're getting off the bus to go into this warehouse to party some more, and I kind of let one slide, and it slid a lot more than I wanted it to, and I totally sharded. And there's nothing more discouraging than like the idea of nothing to discourage the idea of a threesome than the idea of pulling down your pants and smelling like shit, you know?
Yeah.
So like
unless they're into that.
True, but
but
I'm not into that,
No.
you know? I'm pretty vanilla. Like threesomes are about as fucking kinky as I get. So like so like, I'm like, oh God, what do I do? And it was in warehouse space. It was like, there wasn't like a finished bathroom. There was like the one shitty bathroom for way too many people. So it was like, there's no space for me to like, it was like an open air bathroom basically. So like I couldn't go like clean myself off there, So like I literally had to like abscond. Like, I'm gonna go get some air, guys, and like ran out. Couldn't find a good bush. I finally found a bush to hide behind, and once again had to toss my underwear.
Jeez, this time it didn't have your name on it.
No, it had your name on it actually, just in case. I was like, Jeff Hunt. But anyways, for those who don't know who I am, I do a lot of things. I started off writing zines. Which before there was blogs, there were zines, and you could go to Kinko's and photocopy your own publication.
It was awesome if you knew someone who worked there, too.
Totally. I did not.
Best.
I went to this place called Pip Printing, and they used to do my zines. They were on Polk Street. So I did zines, and those turned into me writing for Lonely Planet, and I went to Ireland for Lonely Planet. And then after that, I did the Brokeback Stuart stuff, but in book form. So I did Brokeback Stuart's Guide to Living Cheaply in San Francisco, the one for New York. And then around the time my New York book came out, I was interviewed by Gothamist, which is no longer existence. Right. But like they said, what do you want to do next? I said, I want a motherfucking TV show. And so about that same time, actually, so my website became I changed it over from just being a place to sell zines and stickers and stuff to a place that was a destination for arts and culture and more. And so anyway, so that was about 2008. 2009 is when I really 2008 is when I made the website more of a destination. And then
for San Francisco or
for San Francisco and New York.
And New York.
I've always done both because at that point I had books for both. While the New York following is kind of like waxes and wanes, or whatever. The San Francisco following is much larger, much larger. That's because I'm here, and it's the center of what I do is here. In 2011, I said, in the interview in 2008, I said, hey, I want to do a motherfucking TV show. And in 2011, it happened. I had a show on IFC called Young, Broken, Beautiful, and I got to travel around the U.S. exploring the weird and wonderful in different cities.
Wow.
It was a great experience. But unfortunately, we made a really great show, but the fortunate part was we didn't make a comedy show. But, after we shot everything and everything was in the can, IFC has said, hey, by the way, we're a comedy network now. And so we're like, what we made was funny sometimes. I can be a funny person. But
had comedic moments.
But it wasn't a comedy show. It was a travel show.
Yeah.
So that was one season, whatever. And then, 2015, I ran for mayor of San Francisco. Yes, and I did not win, thankfully.
Okay.
Surprise.
Well, yeah.
And then
you might not be talking to me right now.
Well, definitely not. I'd be like, fuck you guys.
But I'm thinking you might not. You might also not be dead like our now former mayor.
Or they would have had me killed, so who knows?
Right.
So yeah, and now it's 2018, and I'm just doing all the shit. I've been doing lots and lots of it, as well as and then also in those years I've done tons of other small little artsy projects. Like I did a live talk show for a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
It was called The Kinda Late Show at Brokeback Stuart.
Okay. And
that was really cool. And then all kinds of shit. I just want to make stuff for a living, and luckily I get to do that most of the time.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to do that, because the means of production, while they are in your hands, the means of making money are getting slowly stripped away. Because everybody expects everything to be free. 20 years is a generation, mathematically speaking, in culture, whatever, right? And so it's been 20 years just about since Napster came out. So we have literally an entire generation who expect everything that's created to be free. Mm-hmm. And they think you're asking for handouts and begging like a beggar when you just say, hey, the things I create cost me money to make. I'd love it if you could take part in that, because that's really the push I've been making. Like the only way I can continue doing Broke Ass Stuart is if the people who consume it become active participants in supporting it.
Do you think there's a mindset that, or do you think these consumers who expect everything to be free even give thought to what it takes to produce?
No. Not at all.
It's just them. It's like
they're like
give me this.
Right.
And
like you try to explain it to them, and sometimes they're like, oh, I get it now, and some of them just like don't respond because I'm so sick. Like today I'm like, I had this day where I'm just like, fuck everybody on the internet, just fuck them all.
Please follow us on Twitter and Instagram @StoriedSF. Our Facebook page is Storied San Francisco. The website is storiedsf.com. And if you'd like to email us, it's storiedsf@gmail.com. The photo of Stuart on social media and the website is by Michelle Kilfeather. Music for the podcast is by Otis McDonald, a.k.a. Joe Bigale. Thanks for listening. Check back next week when we'll hear from BFF FM founder Amanda Guest.